Well, the weekend is coming to an end, but however, we do not end things like that at all. So, for today, we're going to be doing two reviews for all of you. The first one is from MARIGOLD, of course. We have, of course, Summer Destiny. This one features many matches. Of course, we're going to see the crowning of three new champions, or should I say, the first ever champions. Who's going to be the champion for the Superfly, the United National, and of course the World title. So those are three matches we definitely got to pay attention. But the one match I think many of you are also interested is the Queen of Queen match. We have two former Queen Quest leaders, in fact, facing off each other. Utami Ayashida facing off her idol, the Genius of the Sky, coming all the way from WWE EO Sky. So that is going to be one hell of a match. Then we move on, with course, with Destination by Pro Wrestling Noah. We do feature some championship matches taking place. We do have, of course, the 0-1 World Heavyweight title defended. As you know, that belt is not part of Noah, but it's also sanctioned. Then we have, of course, the GHC National and the GHC Junior Heavyweight Championship and the Heavyweight title defended as well. And then, of course, we see the final time of good-looking guys together. And of course, one match we definitely want to be talking about, AJ Styles, of course, coming from WWE, taking on Naomichi Marufuji, the genius of the Arc and one of the true OGs of Pro Wrestling Noah. That's going to be one hell of a match we definitely going to be talking about. Then we cap up our episode with some news updates to give you guys updates what's been going on in the world of pro wrestling, such as what events the promotions are thrown out, who's booked, what matches are set, including developments that are happening in the world of pro wrestling that needs to be addressed ASAP. So, let's get ready for another episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Hey everyone, welcome to Deleted Wrestle Zone. All things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J Rod here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is the channel where we do a lot of pro wrestling reviews from various promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK, anywhere in the world where pro wrestling is not as big, but it continues to grow. We also, of course, do discussion videos, talk about various topics such as the wrestlers themselves, the promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to talk about. We also do more news updates. If I'm unable to put it on this episode, I can either put it on a different episode or on a separate video by itself. We also, of course, do real-timing news updates to keep you guys on alert if something has happened in the world of pro wrestling that needs to be addressed ASAP. We also do the United Sayaka Watch and other cool wrestling content as well. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us. So click on that subscribe button. You'll be getting a lot of daily reviews and other cool wrestling content as well. But if you like this episode, please give us a like on the like button or a nice comment in the description down below. Now, all introductions set aside, it's hammer time. So let's begin with our very first review, and this is from the Yoshi promotion that just launched this past May, MARIGOLD. Okay, MARIGOLD, their latest show that took place this past Saturday. This one is Summer Destiny in Ryogoku. This is one of their biggest shows that we've seen so far. Now, don't forget, their first show was back in May in Cork and Hall, but this is one of those big venues that many people did not anticipate that Rossy would actually book, but he was able to pull it off. And we saw many wrestlers that were there, especially Bull Nakano. As you know, she is a WWE Hall of Famer, and of course, she in fact, Rossy and her are very good friends and all that. So that's the reason she was there. But however, let's begin with a pre-show match that took place. We have Rhea Sato. She takes on Komomo Minami. Now, those who don't know Rhea Sato, as you know, recently she was originally from Sendai Girls. She eventually left Sendai Girls, and of course, Rossy Ogawa gets a call from Meiko Satomura, tells him that she's interested in joining Mighty Gold. So that's how deep their connections are between both Rossy and Meiko Satomura. This is not the first time that, of course, Meiko Satomura calls Rossy for something like this. This is the second time. But nonetheless, this is her. I think this is her debut match. We have seen her made an appearance telling the world, oh, she's joining. But I have to say, watching this match, I knew that the factor was going to be with Seto for obvious reasons. Because A, she has a bit more experience than Minami, due to the fact that Minami, as those who know this or not, Minami was part of the batch of wrestlers that was supposed to debut with Hanako and Aya Sakura back in Stardom, but she was injured. Her debut kind of was postponed or whatever. But now she made her debut. But I knew that this was going to fall into her because she picked up the pinfall. So that's how it ends right there. Now let's jump into our main card, and I think this was one of my a pretty impressive opener. We have Kizuna Tanaka making her in-ring debut. As you know, I mentioned she has been signed with MARIGOLD. And she teams with Victoria Zuki. Both ladies are about the same age, 19 years old, and teaming up. I did look in if they ever interacted with each other when, of course, Kizuna went to New Blood. No, they never did. But however, it was a pretty impressive teaming. However, they faced a team that, as you know, has been so far dominant since Mighty Gold was established. We're talking about Twin Tower. Chika Goto and Kyoki Amari. I have to say, what a fantastic match. And I was like impressed about it. Now, you would have assumed, those who watched this, that of course Twin Towers were the fan favorite to win. But however, that didn't end right there. I was like impressed. And not to mention, Yuzuki took something out of Suri's playbook. If you guys know this, Suri, formerly known as Saray, likes to do these drop kicks when the opponents are like laying down on the bottom rope, and she did exactly that. So I have to say, not bad. But however, this match ended with a time limit draw, 10 minutes. I'm sure Twin Tower were like questioning, how's that even possible? You would have assumed, yes, they're experienced. They're would have been the X factor to overcome them, but no, it did not do a thing for them. So this could put them in a bit of a predicament because, of course, they've been talking about tag team titles. So we'll get to that at another time. Not on this episode, but on another time. But another thing that I did notice after the match, I did mention Kizuna Tanaka. Her dad, Minoru Tanaka, was right there watching. It's great to see her dad is watching. Some of you may ask, what about her mom? Since I mentioned that she's a wrestler too. Well, she was in the back. But also, there was something interesting that Stu mentioned. One of the English commentators. He said that Tanaka told Rossy when she was born that one day she'll work for him. And 8th Life Grand, she's now with Bodygold. So, yes. Now, of course, we do see a performance by the girls from At-Risk Girls. It's kind of interesting to do that. They did 2 songs. One is called Jungle Something, I don't know, but the other one is my absolute favorite, Love Riddle. Of course, I love that song. But yes, so you saw that. Now, we do see a little surprise visit from someone actually I mentioned before, Michiko Umukai. As you know, she is another wrestler that Rossy Ogawa knows, and she is, of course, Fumiko Fukawa's tag partner back in the Arcean days. And of course, she had presented her daughter, Shino. Now, according to what they're saying, Shino will spend the entire summer training, and then once school session starts, she'll go back to school. So we can't wait. We don't know when her debut will happen, but we will stay close to that. So yes. Now our next match, we have Chiaki Nozaki. They face against Myla Grace and Zeta Steel. Now, early since Mighty Gold first started, these two ladies are not BFFs. But however, Myla Grace thought maybe a possibility. What if they put themselves in the tag team title conversation? But Zeta Steel seems like the only person who's like looking out for herself. However, you can tell that much of the dominance was going to Chiaki and Nozaki, but there was a moment where, of course, Zeta was about to cross the line with the chair. Miley Grace tried to stop her, but it backfired on both of them because it was Chiaki who picked up the win onto Zeta Steel, and just like that, it's over. So most likely, we could see Chiaki and Nozaki actually compete for the tag team title. So only time will tell. Now, our next match is a championship match for the inaugural Superfly Championship. Now, if you guys probably ask yourselves, this sounds like a somewhat version of the high speed. Well, it kind of is. So basically, that was the whole point. And the two that were able to make it to the finals is none other than Misa Matsui and Natsumi Shozuki. Now, these two ladies, as you know, have similar styles, but however, from what the commentators mention about Matsui, there are moments she likes to do a little dirty tricks, like pull someone's hair or bite someone's hand, that sort of thing. I mean, that's the kind of person that Matsui will definitely try to over to accomplish what she needs to get. But however, it was Shozaki who picked up the win when she applied a crucifix. But I didn't notice that, of course, Matsui was bleeding out from her lip. But of course, Shozuki actually won this match by becoming the first inaugural Superfly champion. So we'll see what happens. But the obvious question does tell later on. We will ask ourselves who will be the first ones to take a crack at her. So we'll get to that at some point. Our next match is a very interesting six-woman tag match. We have, of course, Nori Takakoi Inoue and Shinobu Kandori from another promotion. They face against Nao Ishikawa, Mai Sakurai, and of course Nana Takahashi. Now, the real story about this, what they're telling is this: that of course, as you know, Kandori is the promoter of another promotion called L something. Let me pull it up real quick because I cannot. I don't know what's the name of the promotion she was in. Let me pull it up. Yeah, it's called Ladies Legend Pro Wrestling X, or for short, LLPWX. So yeah, so that's her promotion. Recently, as you know, when Mighty Gold was established, they didn't have a dojo, they did not have a ring, but they did purchase a ring. It will be coming in August, from my understanding. So basically, Kandori was accusing Mighty Gold for not cleaning after themselves, but Nana Takahashi was telling her, we do clean after ourselves. So basically, someone has been either being a liar or whatever. So this led to this match. But I would have assumed, because this match was highly anticipated, because we see how now Ishikawa was getting a little more confident, learning from, of course, Nana Takahashi. But you cannot deny the skills from what Nori did to her when she did a high-flying spinning kick onto her head, and just like that, it was over. But Kandori said, okay, you guys can still use our dojo, but clean after yourselves. But I'm sure Nana Takahashi is not going to tolerate with her crap anyway. So one way or the other, those two will have to come face to face. I just don't know when or where. Now, moving on. Now, as you know, other than the Superfly Championship that was established, we have, of course, the similarities that we've seen with Rossy Ogawa, you know, the red and the white belt. Well, the white belt is called the Mighty Gold United National Championship. Now, we did see a tournament. Bozilla officially is in the finals. However, there's been a kind of a predicament. We have Miku Ono, who been facing off with Mirai back and forth 3 times their match ended in time limit draws. So basically, this is their last chance. Someone has to walk out as the winner. So you can tell. Now, I think many fans were divided in half. There was Miko Inoue, who has been a force to be reckoned when she first made her appearance in Marigold. And Mirai, we all know her story. She is one of those wrestlers that we can get behind. But man, this match was intensified. But in the end, it was Anu who picked up the win with the Styles Clash, allowing herself to win in advance. But however, she has a very, very, very big problem to go to. And that problem is none other than Bozilla. Yes, so she has to beat her in order to become the first ever United National Champion. So that's the biggest task. But however, you ask yourself, how is she gonna do this? Her body has already been wasted. Her energy's gone in that match she was in with Mirai. Well, I would have assumed it would have been an easy task for Bozilla, but it wasn't. Miko Inoue is, of course, attempting to show the world who she is, why she deserves this belt, and that's exactly what she was doing. No matter what Bozilla tried to do, sometimes it worked, sometimes it backfired. You probably wouldn't expect it, but to the surprise, Anu picked up the win by rolling her up, and 1, 2, 3, it was over. And of course, Bozilla protested that it was 2, but the ref said it was 3. So she is now, of course, the inaugural United National Champion. And of course, she had a promo. She had some things to say. And like I said, with of course, with Natsumi Shizuki, who will be her first person to take a crack at her. That's gonna be a very thing to watch. Now, our next match, this is one I think many of you are been waiting for, and this one is the Queen of Queen match. We have Utami Ayashida versus Io Sky. Yes, this was a match that nobody might have expected it could happen, but it was a dream match that Utami Ayashida have dreamt for. So the obvious question is, who will walk out as the winner for this one? I think there was a division between two in the fans between these two, but the match was unbelievably amazing. But however, Io Sky, instead of doing things like she did with WWE, her fighting style, she went back to her Japanese roots. If you guys noticed it, I have noticed it. But however, it was Io Sky once again, her supremacy, that picked up the win when she applied a moonsault. And I'm sure, even though Utami Ishida might have lost, I'm sure she's deeply happy knowing that she got to have her dream match with her idol. And I think that's important. I mean, how many wrestlers get to wrestle their idols? I mean, that's like one of the biggest dreams come true. And I'm sure Utami, and no doubt, she will become the ace of Marigold. It's only a matter of time until she picks up more wins, but also build up confidence within herself. Now, our main event is, of course, the Marigold World Championship between Cirie and Giulia. Now, this match was announced a few days before Rossy made this happen, because no one was initially challenging for that belt. So it was, why not? Let's make it happen. But however, I think this was an impressive match because Giulia wants to show her supremacy. She's always shown why she's that good, why she has that charisma. But Cirie, you know, she has the fighting spirit, but also at the same time, she has a methodical side to her. But of course, she actually, in the end, actually got to the wrist of Giulia. We all know Giulia injured herself the last time. So what happened? Referee had no other choice but to call it, knowing it's done. You know, she saw how the wrist was gonna be damaged. So instead, the ref made the right choice, regardless of what Giulia would think. And Cirie became the first ever Marigold World Champion. But Giulia does tell her, you got a target on your back. So we'll see how our new champions will be. Now, as for our tag team titles, we will discuss that at a different timing. So as of right now, I'm not putting that in this episode because I decided to keep that separate. So that way we understand more about it. So I think that's pretty much it for now. So let's move on with Pro Wrestling Noah. Okay, Pro Wrestling Noah with Destination. Now, ironically, while MARIGOLD was happening, so was Destination. So, let's get started with, of course, we have three pre-show matches. Our first one, we have a three-way tag team match. First team, we have All Rebellion between Cristobal and Alejandro versus Junta Miyawaki and Ninja Mac versus Ajime Ohara and Super Crazy. So nothing too significant about this particular match, but of course, you probably can guess that all competitors here are in fact junior heavyweights wrestlers. So possibly you ask yourselves, okay, who will be the next persons to take on Shuji Kondo and of course Eita. So basically, that's always been the conversation. But I can tell that right now in this match, it was All Rebellion, Cristobal and Alejandro who picked up the win. Thanks to Alejandro with a spiral type thing jumping off onto Super Crazy to allow the match. I'm sure Alejandro has been dying to make his way to the GHC Junior Heavyweight Tag Team titles, but we'll see what happens until then. Now, our next match, we have a six-man tag team match. We have Masa Kitamiya, Daiki Inaba, and Manabu Soya. It's no strangers, of course, that Kitamiya and Manabu Soya were tag team partners when they were, in fact, with Kongo, led by Keno. They face against Kazuyuki Fujita, Shuhei Taniguchi, and, of course, Takashi Sugiura. So basically, as again, nothing too significant about this match. But a funny moment is Taniguchi was trying to get Fujita and Sugiura to get involved in a moment in the match, but that didn't do any well because, in fact, it was Manabu Soya with the jumping DDT onto Taniguchi that picked up the win. Now, our last match involving the pre-show, we have Yu Owada, Rohei Oiwa, and of course Yoshinari Ogawa. Yoshinari Ogawa. They take on Shuji Kondo, Eita, and Akira. Now, it's no strangers that Eita had dealt with, of course, with Ogawa before in the past. But however, as we've seen Eita, who is determined to be the face of the junior heavyweight division in Noah, since he is now officially full time. So basically, it was him who picked up the win with the super kick onto Owada, and just like that, it was over. Now, our next match, we do have a very special match. We have Keno versus Blue Justice Yuji Nagata. So this was going to be one of those tough battle matches. We know there's going to be some submission tactical aspects in this match for obvious reasons. You know, Nagata, he has that one crazy look when he has his eyes turn white, you know, all that. But however, it was Keno who was able to pick up the win when he applied a moonsault that went in, that he used his knees onto the abdomen of Nagata to pick up the win. And of course, towards the end, Nagata showed him some respect. So basically, he saw what a great wrestler he is. So I'm sure Keno was happy that he won his match against him, but at the same time, happy knowing that he got to face a man who's been well known in the wrestling business. Our next match, we have a very interesting showdown. GLG Showdown. This is the last time we get to see them all together. We have LG Clearing. He teams up with Anthony Green and Jack Morris, where they take on Tadasuke, Yohei, and Jake Lee. So basically, this was something that was cooked up by Jake Lee after his loss towards Naito in the All Together event last month, and of course, Yohei and everybody else were saying they're with him till the end, but Jack Morris was the one person who felt he can't trust him at some capacity. Well, however, it was Jake Lee that was able to pick up the win, and when he applied that big boot onto LG Clearing, and just like that, it was over. Now, during the post match, Jake Lee was about to do a promo, but out of nowhere, that sniveling little weasel Ghetto showed up out of nowhere. Now, nobody knows what was going on, but from what our English commentators translated, it appears that Ghetto is recruiting Jake Lee into the Bullet Club War Dogs. And of course, Jack Morris cannot believe what he's hearing. And of course, Jake Lee chokeslammed them and just left them lying there like a dead duck. And then, of course, Jake Lee, all he had to say, goodbye, Noah. So that means he is leaving Noah, going to New Japan, and siding with, of course, the Bullet Club War Dogs. But what does this mean for the other members of GLG? Well, during the post-match comments, LJ saying he's heading back to Ireland, and hopefully maybe one day come back. That's the same thing with Jack Morris going back to Scotland. Said he would like to come back. Same thing with Anthony Green coming back to the States. But Tadasuke and Yohei say they have some plans, asking the fans to watch. Now, I don't know what kind of plans they have in mind, but I'm sure it's not good. But I'm sure some Noah fans are questioning why did Jake Lee even showed up in the first place. But it is what it is. Now, our next match is for the 0-1 World Heavyweight title. Now, this particular championship is not part of the GHC, governing body. It's part of the promotion Pro Wrestling 01. This was a title that was won by none other than Akitoshi Saito, defeating Chris Weiss. And then, of course, he made this match happen because he wants to face Go Shiozaki. Now, both men, Saito and Shiozaki, they were followers of Misawa. Those who know who Misawa is, those who don't, Matsuharu Misawa is the founder of Noah. He was the main reason Noah exists. So these two guys were very close to him. But this is like one of those out of respect type of matches in the memory of Misawa. But despite the fact this belt is not part of the governing body, but Saito made this match happen. But you would think these guys will not hold back, and they did not hold back one way. But it only took Shiozaki to do the Go Lariat onto him to pick up the win and become the brand new 0-1 World Heavyweight Champion. Now, during the post-match, Saito actually said that after losing, that it was time for him to retire. And I think this was a very surprising thing. But, however, I think Saito felt like, okay, I fulfilled my part. Now it's time for you to fulfill yours. So, I think it's more like closing the chapter for him and moving on to his next stage of life or something. But yes, but nonetheless, very impressive match. Now, our next match, this is for the GHC national title. Now, Ulka Zazaki has been one of those impressive wrestlers who had been involved in the UFC in the past. He faced against Hayata. Hayata won this belt not too long ago against Jack Morris, and now he's facing a real nut job. So this is one of those matches. Recently, Zazaki attacked him during a match and resulted. Now, of course, Hayata, you all know, he's one of the best junior heavyweight competitors, but he's not afraid to cross a little boundary, like biting someone's hand, using the ropes, whenever he feels it's convenient to him. Not whenever it has to be, but whenever it feels like the right moment for him. But however, that did not do any well for him because he ended up in a rear naked choke, and he just passed out in the floor, and the ref called it just like that. So Ulka Zazaki is now the brand new GHC national champion. However, during the post-match, we were surprised with the appearance of former GLG members, Yohei and Tadasuke. Now, you ask yourselves, what the hell is going on here? Well, those who know this or not, Yohei and Tadasuke used to be part of a faction with Hayata and, of course, a guy you guys may remember, Daisuke Harada. They were known as Rattle. Now, when Tadasuke and Yohei first united last year, everybody thought that a somewhat reunion of Rattle was coming, but no, Rachael was coming back, but nope, it wasn't. But it seems now that Hayata is free, they decided to hang out with him now. So basically, this is going to be an interesting thing to watch. Now, our next championship match. This is for the GLG, the GSC Junior Heavyweight title. We have Amakusa versus Daga. Now, we haven't seen Amakusa for a long while, and he faces against Daga. Daga, as you know, has been dominant as a junior heavyweight champion in Noah, and of course, he will not allow someone like Amaske, who will try to take his kingdom from him. Well, apparently that kingdom for him kind of was put on the threat. But of course, Daga would do whatever it takes to win. But in the end, it was a very fantastic crucifix by Amaske to pick up the win. And of course, Daga's kingdom has drifted apart and ending him to lose to Amaske. So we have so far 3 title changes. Now, our next match is a very fantastic one. I think many of you may like it. These guys are all 4 wrestlers are from Mexico, but we have 2 sets of brothers. We have Dragon Bane and his brother Alpha Wolf taking on the Wagner brothers. We're talking about Galeno del Mal and his brother, his big brother, Hijo de Dr. Wagner, Hijo de Dr. Wagner. So basically, this is one of, I think this is the first, I don't know if this is the first time they ever team up, but if they have, I might have missed those. But yes, it was fantastic. I mean, I do love when they have the 2 sets of brothers facing off each other. We've seen that with the Lucha Brothers and Matt Hardy and all that. The Lucha Brothers and Young Bucks, that sort of thing. That's really fun to watch. But it was impressive. But in the end of this match, it was none other than the Wagner brothers, thanks to Dr. Wagner Jr., that picked up the win onto Alpha Wolf. So I'm sure many of us would love to see Galeno and, of course, his brother Dr. Wagner team up, maybe win the tag title. So that's something we could see down the road, but only time will tell. Now, our next match, this is a match that was announced surprisingly. AJ Styles, the phenomenal one, coming all the way from WWE, he takes us on the genius of the art, Naomichi Marufuji. Now, some of you may question, yes, why would Marufuji face AJ Styles? Well, AJ Styles have heard a lot from him, and this is, of course, AJ Styles' first time being in Noah, so that sets it up. And I have to say, I know one person will be happy knowing that this match is semi-main event, and that is Keno, because he thought that it was a load of crap in the last matches that put Marufuji in the main event. That should have been the heavyweight championship, but that did not. But oh man, match was great. I mean, it was good. I felt like AJ Styles just went back to his old roots of being the AJ Styles I remembered. But towards the end, it was, of course, AJ with the Styles Clash winning the match. Now, our main event is the GHC Heavyweight Championship. We have Yoichi, and I did not know who exactly it was. It was Yoshiki Inamari, who Kaito Kiyomiya has teamed up in the past. So basically, it's like the ghost of Christmas past has come back to haunt him. Now, of course, you ask yourselves, where the hell this guy's been? Well, last I heard, he was in England wrestling with Progress, and I think whatever his excursion was, it's done. So he has to face him, and man, this match went intensified. But in the end, it was Kaito Kiyomiya with the Shining Wizard that ended it and allowed him to pick up the win. However, in the post-match, now that he retained the belt, there is one thing he needs to do. He called out everybody involved in the N1 Victory Tournament, and that includes his own teammate, his blonde brother himself, Keno. So he knows that one of these guys will walk out as the winner. So he will be prepared. But don't forget, the champion who wins if the champion wins the tournament, well, he gets to choose his opponent. So we'll see what happens from here on out. From that, we're not yet started the N1 Victory until maybe August or so, but we'll see. So at this moment, we'll end things right here. So let's move on with our last and final thing, Pro Wrestling Noah. Okay, welcome to our news updates. Now, I decided, at the last minute, let's just do this right now. As you know, I mentioned in MARIGOLD, there's going to be some tag team titles. Now, the titles are called, of course, the Twin Star Belts. Now, by the end of this news update, I will show you what they look like. Now, because of that, they decided for this coming weekend, for MARIGOLD, for the two upcoming shows, there's going to be a tournament for this one. So there's four first round matches with, I believe, 8 teams. So the weekend is going to be busy over that. So this is what we do know. So this is for the full card on this Saturday for July 20th in Shinkiba, and of course, just for the record, Giulia will be competing in this event, but she's not part of the tournament. So Giulia will be teaming with Victoria Yuzuki and Kizuna Tanaka. They will be teaming with, of course, our three brand new champions, Sari, Miko Anu, Matsumi Shozuki. Now, we do have the Twin Star Round 1 matches. First match, we have Nanana Takahashi will be teaming with Nao Ishikawa. They'll take on, of course, Twin Tower. I believe they are, of course, the fan favorites since they have been dominant as a tag team. So we have, if you guys don't know who's involved in this match, in that team, it's Kyuki Amari and Chikagoto. Now, the second match involved in the first round, we have Mirai and Mai Sakurai, which, of course, is no strangers to those who remembered in Stardom. They were really good friends, so they will team up. And however, this one I did not anticipate, but this one it did. We have Zeta Steel and Maya Grace will be teaming up. I highly doubt those two are going to win that match, but we'll see. We have Utame Yoshida. She'll face against Chiaki. Mitsa Matsui will face against Bozilla. And then we have a three-way match between Rhea Seto versus Komomo Minami and Nagisa Nozaki. So that's the Saturday event. Now, as for the Sunday, we continue with more of the first round matches of the Twin Star tournament. Of course, we have Giulia and Mai Sakurai will team up once again. They will face against Utami, Ayashida, and Mirai. Now, for the first round matches, two of them, we have Miku Ano. She'll team up with, of course, Mizuki Shozuki. Of course, as you know, they won their respected title matches. They will face against the rookies, Victoria Yuzuki and Kizuna Tanaka. And then, of course, we have for the other match for the Twin Star tournament, Rhea Sato and Komomo Minami. They will face against Chiaki and Nagisa Nozaki. So those are the matches will be for the Twin Star. Now, for the remaining matches of the full card for the Sunday event in Nagoya, we have Mitsa Matsui. She'll team up with Nao Ishikawa. They'll face against, of course, Twin Tower, Kyoki Amori, and Chikagoto. And then, of course, we have Zeta Steel. She'll team up with Nana Takahashi. They'll face against Bozilla and Mila Grace. So that's pretty much for that. Now, as I said before, by the end of the news updates, I'll show you the video of what the Twin Tower, the Twin Star belts look like. So they will be. I don't know when they'll be around, but we'll see it soon. Now, continue on with the updates with the promotions. Queen of Indies. They'll take place on the 18th of August. They already announced 2 first-round matches. We have Hyan. She'll be facing against Maya World. And then, of course, we have Masha Slamovich take on Kylie Ray. So that's going to be interesting. House of Glory has announced for they'll be in Chicago for the first time. They will be around on September 7th. And they announced some big news. Dominic Dijak, or formerly known as Dominic Dijakovic, later known as Dijak, will be there making his debut. And then, of course, we have that the Roseline 9 that's presented by West Coast Pro, Prestige, and DPW on the 29th of September. We have Trevor Lee that will be there. So, yeah, those who know Trevor Lee, he's the guy you may remember as Camerines to the moon. Yep, so he will be there as well. So that's pretty much for our updates as we speak. Let's talk about, of course, some developments that are going on. Those who remember Jose the Assistant, who was part of the La Facción Ingobernable with Rouge, Dralistico, and Preston. Well, as you know, he was released not too long ago. He recently was in a match in Canada with Alpha One Wrestling. He just now won a championship. called the Outer Limits Championship. He goes now by the name Jose the Assassin. So basically, go check him out. Fightful reports interesting dynamics. As you know, we do have 3 foreign wrestlers who made their way to MARIGOLD since the launch of the promotion. It was revealed that both Bozilla and Malik Gris are scheduled to be with the promotion at least till the new year. But as for Zeta Steel, she'll be finishing up with the promotion by next month. So basically, it's kind of inevitable that this was going to happen. It's no surprising since they're not natives of Japan, but we do know they always get foreigner wrestlers that could be there. So it was kind of obvious that was going to happen. But yes, so yeah. So anyway, moving on. Rachael Ellering, as you know, she's now officially signed with AEW / Ring of Honor. So we'll be seeing her more often in both promotions. So we'll see what happens from here on out. Now, our last development, Rossy was asked about when can Julie be expected to be in WWE, which is something we have been aware of for quite some time. This is what he had to say. Let me pull that up for all of you. Oh yeah, nope, that's not it. Oh, here it is. This is what Rossy said. The date for going there hasn't been decided yet, so she will be with us until then. Juliet has said that she wants to fight various wrestlers during this time. I'm thinking of having her face off against or pair up with all wrestlers in our company. So basically, it's still no telling when. We know that Rossy is expecting that sooner or later, Julia will have to report to WWE. I know that's something that many WWE fans who are expecting to see, but we will see what happens. So until then, let's just enjoy her being in Mighty Gold for the time being until the day is called. But as of right now, we'll end things here right now. But let me show you guys, of course, Mighty Gold's tag team titles known as Twin Stars Championship. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode. Coming up, I haven't decided yet. Now, I know I haven't seen certain events. There was a Stardom event that I haven't seen at all. I will put that as a part of the list. But instead, I decided, you know what? I'm just going to wing it. So we'll see what happens. Hope you guys enjoy these 2 reviews. I kind of figured I was going to do these ones because since they were a long review, like maybe 15 minutes to talk about. But nonetheless, this is what I got for all of you. So until then, I will see you guys in the next DWZ time. Same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye. And have a nice day.